sports in high school, played professional basketball straight out of high school in Europe. Like,
oh shit!
And so I've always been
How long did you play in Europe?
Doing a sport for a year and a half. Belgium, Croatia, and Germany.
Straight out of high school, you were like straight off to Europe?
They gave me the option to go play in Europe, or I could go, obviously, to college.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the show. Jeff Michael, everybody. Jeff, what's up, buddy?
What's up, BL? Can you hear me?
Yes. Like, this is literally the
Excellent.
best microphone of any guest I've ever had in the history of the show. I expected nothing less from you, my friend. Welcome.
Hey, thank you, man. Just trying to watch a little bit of this Masters game. I love this tournament. Obviously, Tiger Woods playing in it is absolutely special, but it's interesting, man. This week is great for golf, and I hope Tiger does well. It's good for TV. It's good for the sport.
Did you see the odds of him winning the tournament was like plus 15,000?
I did, and I don't expect him to win. I think if he makes the cut, it'll be 24 consecutive, which will break the record for consecutive cuts at the Masters. But speaking of gambling, have you seen? You know Otani's interpreter, right? And the whole gambling situation with Shohei.
Yep.
Did you see, so the numbers just came out, and it just came out on this, like right when you were doing, I was listening to your song during the break, sitting on that damn corner doing
Yeah.
which I thought was hysterical.
That's our theme song on this show.
I know, it's hysterical. This dude placed 19,000 wagers.
Yeah.
19,000 bets and 142 million he won, but he also lost 183 million.
He lost $183 million?
Yes, that's what they just came out with in 19,000 bets. So he won 142, he lost 183, so I guess he lost $41 million.
What happened to the 4.5?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Holy
I was like,
shit.
How rich is Shohei's interpreter?
Yeah. So I did see something where they said apparently, because people were like, well, how do you not know that this dude's taking all this money? And I said, look, when you're as big as Shohei Ohtani is, first of all, you have people that do everything for you. Because they said his interpreter would run errands for him. He would go get water for him. He would carry his water bottle or whatever. So when you're that big, you have assistants and people. And so, yeah, people are going to pay your bills. People are going to, you don't do any of that shit, right? But what I did see was that apparently once he got access to Ohtani's bank account, he turned off alerts. So he had disabled Ohtani getting all of the alerts. So when he was taking the money and moving it and doing all that shit, Ohtani never knew about it, which explains now to baseball and everybody else why Ohtani never knew, because he was like, I guess all these big transactions he wasn't getting an alert for. So, I mean, like, I know my wife spends $7. My phone's like, holy shit, $7. I know right away. That's not true. She makes all the money.
You don't have seven. He probably has, 500 million in the bank. And so what's 1 or 2 million missing?
Exactly.
But, 19,000 bets he placed in 3 years is what it's saying.
Crazy. Yeah, it says
19,000. Like, what's the math on that, man? Like, how many is that a day?
That's wild, dude. Dude, that's a lot. That's a serious gambling problem. Yeah, there it is right there.
Oh, you're seeing it now, yeah?
142 million total losses of 183, leaving a total net balance of negative 40 million. Bro, that's doing sexual favors to gamble level of gambling.
Well, listen, so my question is it that one bookie? Because that dude is loaded.
Oh, you think? He made 40
bookie from LA.
He made 40 million just off of this dude. Imagine the rest of the people.
That's what I'm saying. This guy's got to be rolling in the dough, man. And I know for a fact that bookie, I forgot his name, but he's under investigation. He's been under investigation for like 3 years in California. But I mean, he's really going to be in trouble now, because I don't know if that guy's going to have to repay all this money. Does he keep any of these winnings? Because how did they get these numbers? Did that guy rat on him, show him the books?
Oh, yeah. Well, they said so. The bookmaker is not named in the complaint, but his role and detail match that of Matthew Bowyer or Boyer. Yeah, so I think they've kind of known who it was, but yeah, I think he's been under investigation for a while. They know,
yes,
bro. It's
yes.
the feds. The feds know everything. Shit, they know. Bro, if you're making 40 million off one dude, the feds know. You can't go and make 40 million and the feds are like,
what's his side business? How's he writing that off?
Exactly. That's
he own a dry cleaning company? What's going on?
Yeah. Oh, he just ran into 40 million. Lucky him.
Yeah, he's in Monaco once every other week, and it's a great dry cleaning business, man.
What does it say? Ohtani loses 5K between the seat cushions. Yeah, that's probably true, Cisco. That's very true. He wouldn't even notice that. Yeah. See, that's the smart thing is if you're going to do it in smaller chunks where he wouldn't notice. Not huge, but that's maybe why you end up making 19,000 bets. But
I wonder if any of this is going to come back to Shohei. I really do. And maybe they were just that good of friends where he just didn't want to understand or realize what the hell this guy was doing, and it just kept going until this guy finally got busted. But I find it hard to believe that if you're gambling $140 million that Ohtani doesn't know. 19,000 bets, like that's insane. On what? What sport are we talking about?
Everything but baseball. That was what he said. I never bet on baseball. I loved it because he was like, it was so funny because when they talked to the interpreter and when it first broke, he was like, hey, listen, I bet on everything but baseball. They made it very clear that was against the rules. It was like, now you're following the rules. You stole money. You're illegally gambling. But now all of a sudden we're supposed to believe you're following the rules by not betting on baseball. Okay. Now you're not breaking rules. Ridiculous.
He was doing what your theme song is talking about.
Sitting on the corner doing dope. Exactly. It was ridiculous.
Nobody bets that much and doesn't have a substance abuse problem. I tell you
for real. Yeah.
I know a lot of gamblers, including me. I would not bet that much money. Like, and I don't think I have a substance abuse.
You're like, I haven't smoked crack in weeks.
Yeah. It's been a while, right?
Yeah. You know what? I am of the belief, and this is just me, but I really don't think Ohtani had anything to do with this. I don't know why. Call me naive. Call me just wanting to believe in humanity. But I really don't think that dude knew what was going on. I think he has too much to risk and too much to lose. I think had he known, he would have fired the dude and gotten rid of him and said, bro, I cannot risk the amount of money that I have for your dumb ass out here gambling. I don't think he would have. And that's just me. But man, when you see those numbers, you're right though. It makes you pause and go, how?
That's wild.
How do you get to 140 million or 80 million or whatever it was? Come on.
That's insane. 19,000 bets, and I forgot the dates. Let's just say 3 years. So if you do 19,000 divided by 19, hold on, let me try to do this. 19,000, let's just do divided by 1,000, which is about 3 years. What's that, 19 bets a day?
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And let's take that even further. So let's see. So 19,000 bets. Well, let's see. So 3 years. Hold on. And we're going to do this shit right. 365 times 3. 1,095 days. 19,000 divided by 1,095 days is... Wait a minute. That don't seem right. 19,000. Did I do that wrong? Oh, yeah. It's got to be 1,095 divided by 19,000, right? Nope. I'm fucking this all up.
What are we doing? 19? It's 19 total bets a day. Like he placed 19 bets a day. That's what I'm getting at.
Oh, really?
Like
is that what it is?
Yeah. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
19? I might do like 2 parlays.
Dude.
And then maybe kind of cover it up with one more bet. And that's every other day or something like that. Man, is that a problem? But like 19 bets a day.
And you figure, all right.
19 bets a day? What?
That's
That
a
is-
lot, especially if you're like, okay, if you're up, let's say you might be up 19 hours a day. Let's say you sleep
that is-
5 hours a day. You're making a bet an hour. Every hour you're like, I need another bet. I'm jonesing for another bet. Dude, that's every hour
this
you're
is-
just,
we're-
I got to get another bet in.
That is a addiction problem.
Now-
But I mean, look, we'll see. Well, more information is going to come out. This just came out right before, obviously, I came on with you, and I thought it was pretty interesting and a good topic to got to jump into. It's this guy. That's a lot, dude. That's mind blowing numbers. Mind blowing numbers.
I would have never guessed. I would have been like, oh, a couple million, maybe some really big bets on like, put a $500,000 on the Super Bowl type shit. But it just sounds like he was just
Yeah, you're
nickel
telling
and
me
diamond
he paid
bets.
that bookie? He paid that bookie $13 million a year. That's freaking nuts, man.
Dude.
That's insanity, dude.
Yeah,
that's $1 million a month. That is $1 million a month on gambling. I didn't even look at it like that. Like,
Hey man, I know
my
you
God.
just now that you say that. Holy shit. Hold on. Now I gotta know what's 1 million divided by 30.
Yeah. How much is we talking a day?
$33,333 a day.
Yeah, if you break it down, yeah. it's
Oh my God. And then you divide that by his 19 bets. This dude was betting about $1,750 per bet per hour. So he was literally gambling about $1,750 every hour. What?
That's freaking crazy.
Dude, most people don't make that in a week. He was gambling in an hour what most people make in a week. Every hour of every day for years.
For 3 years.
God, that's insane, dude.
Wild, man.
Yeah.
And going to the games and shooting the shit with Ohtani in the in the dugout, like just kicking it, like it's no big deal.
Yeah, you know what? You got to be a really good liar and actor to never lead on that you're doing it either, if you think about that. You got all that shit going on. And, because there was one point, Jeff, where he's like, he's on the phone and he's placing a bet and Ohtani walks in. He's like, oh, hey.
Yeah. What are you doing?
What's going on? He's like, hey, what are you doing? No, I'm texting my mom. He's like stealing money from me. He was like, how's your mom? Oh, she's good. Like, bro, how do you play that off? That shit. That's wild to me, dude. That's absolutely wild.
$41 million now.
Jesus.
140 lost 180 million. Like, how do you lose $180 million in 3 months of gambling, dude?
Crazy.
That's Charles Barkley. That blows Barkley out the door.
Yeah,
all
no
those
shit,
dudes,
like
MJ. That's MJ money.
That's
like
MJ losing money type shit.
That's how Jordan does it. This dude was an interpreter. What are you like? Oh man, mind blowing.
Wasn't his money?
It's mind boggling.
Mind boggling. Shit. Yeah. Yeah. No shit. Well, hey man, tell me about sports with balls. Tell me how that got started.
In my garage, man. I got sick and tired of the politics getting involved in sports, and it was getting really bad on what Dan Patrick likes to say, the mothership. And I just, man, I got, because it used to be entertaining to sit here and talk about sports. Those guys were funny. The commercials were funny. Like it was just awesome, and it had changed. And so I started doing a recording in my garage, and I've always been a sports guy. I was sports in high school, played professional basketball straight out of high school in Europe. Like,
oh shit!
And so I've always been.
How long did you play in Europe?
Doing a sport for a year and a half. Belgium, Croatia, and Germany.
Out of high school?
I got. Yeah,
Hold on, brother.
Well,
don't be speeding on past this, Jeff. We're gonna slow this down, brother. I'm leading this interview. I know you think that I brought you on here to talk sports. I brought you on here to talk about you, Playboy. We'll talk sports. I'm interviewing you. Okay, this is about sports, but this is about you too. Let's pump the brakes here, brother. I didn't know this about you. So you straight out of high school, you were like straight off to Europe?
Yes, and so back then I had to pay to play over. Back then, this is 1995.
Oh shit!
And Yes, they gave me the option to go play in Europe, or I could go obviously to college. And I could travel the world in Europe. My parents were like, "Which one do you want to do? You want to go travel the world?" That they had. I was fortunate enough where they were able to take care of that, and so I went over there for a few months, and I was like, "This is amazing." I won a few tournaments with my team. We had a team, a representative from Houston, and we ended up getting the silver medal in a big tournament over there. That was sort of like a step down for the Junior Olympics, and so then I got offered to go play for Belgium and Croatia and Germany straight after that. And I just hopped around for, buses with teammates and stuff like that. It was a blast. And I don't regret it at all, but never ended up going. I tried to go back to college when I got back, and it was just by then I like to get out too much, if you will. So college wasn't even in the plans. And
like to party a little bit.
Yeah, I like to have a good time, And
what was
at
that
point I was.
How old were you? When because you out of high school, you had to be 17 or 18, right?
18 years old, 18 to almost 20 years old.
Oh, wow.
And then when I came back, I went to Memphis.
So you're in Europe at 18 to almost 20. Oh, yeah. Which I don't know what it's like over there, but that's everything's legal and 18 to 20 over there. Yeah,
it was fun, man. I remember, we would go out and get hammered the night before a tournament game, and it's always my fault. So it was always my fault. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, man.
Did your parents know that this was going on? Were you there like?
No. So back then, we didn't have cell phones. There's no communication. There's no cameras like we have now.
Yeah.
No social media. I had to call my parents probably once a week, and one phone call back then was $20-something just for like 10 minutes, right? So we didn't talk that often. They didn't know what we were doing. But I tell you what, when we did win that tournament, we came in. I flew into Intercontinental Airport, and my mom hadn't seen what we had doing. What we had done. It had been all over the news. It was a huge tournament in Europe, and when we came back, there were news cameras and like thousands of people at the airport. And I see her first, and she's like, "What is all this?" And I was like, "We got the silver medal." And she was like, "What?" And wow. it was a blast, man. Yeah, I had a lot of fun, man. And I still keep in touch with a lot of my teammates from that team because there is social media now. So it was a lot of fun.
Dude, that's crazy. And so you came back and went to Memphis after that?
Yeah, my dad was in Memphis, and I was going to go to Memphis State, which is now University of Memphis. I had a scholarship to go there prior to going to Europe to play basketball. So tried to walk onto the team. I didn't make it, so I ended up going to a small community college, and it just spiraled downhill after that to where sports just kind of – I was getting too old. Those kids were getting too quick and fast. And, even at 21, 22 years old, it was – once you take a year off, that's pretty much it.
You're cooked after that, right?
Well, I got more interested in women. Let's be honest. I got more interested in
now the truth comes out. You're like, I was old and oh my God, I liked women.
Well, you can't get up, but you can't go out and party and get up and play So,
no,
it was. I ended up being a bartender and a promoter
in Memphis. Or did you come back here to do that?
No. I got an offer to come back to Houston to work at a hot spot called the Gatsby back then, and Bronx Bar, which from a long time ago, which were a lot of fun, man. And I had a good time. I don't regret anything. It was a blast, man. And so it led up to me going through numerous jobs, whatever, and then sitting in my garage watching Sports Center and getting annoyed with what they were doing. And so I started talking about sports because we would have friends over. I had a nice man cave. We'd have friends over, and they were like, "Dude, you should do a sports show." And so one night, I got my buddy in there, and I'm doing a bunch of research for it. And he's high as a kite, bro. Smoked weed. God bless him. He's passed away now. But he was, man, I mean, he one of those guys that brings over a backpack full of just like a professor of marijuana, and he would lay it all out on the table. And I don't smoke weed, but I thought it was hysterical, right? And people would come over and they do. So, we'll do whatever you do. It's not that big of a deal. And man, one night he's sitting there and he's just laying back, dude, and he's like, "Sports with balls, bro." And I was like, that's a great name. I was like, oh my God.
That's it.
So I I immediately got on the internet and looked it up on LegalZoom, and I'll be damned if it wasn't taken across the board. It was wide open. So I just bought everything right then, like bam, 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 bam. And started doing the show at Lucky's Pub upstairs. And I wanted to just do a fun show, man, where friends got around and talked, and podcasts were taking off. This was 4 years ago.
Okay.
And then, as you know, I got Lauren Leal to join the show, and the rest is history, dude. We had a blast. And I'm on my next show will be show 300.
I saw that. When you sent me the stuff this morning, I went and looked, and I saw you had done 299. So that was April 8th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to get Lauren back on to do 300.
Did she do your first show?
So busy.
Yeah.
No. She came in. I guess it was 30 or 40 into it, and
okay.
You know, when you do these things, it takes time to get your feet on your ground. I'd never done anything like this before, so I'm glad I didn't perfect it, but at least I wasn't uncomfortable or nervous or anything like that. And it took me a while to get going, man. But, you know, I always tell people if they're looking to start a podcast, like, just press play, just go. And, you know, you can figure it all out as you go.
What do you, that's a good point. Is that your best advice for somebody? Just press play and go?
Yeah, I have numerous people I'm talking to now that are trying to start podcasts and want to, you know, they've got great ideas and stuff like that. I'm like, look, you got to imagine if you're driving down a road in the middle of whatever state you're from and something's on the radio, are you going to pay attention to it? You have to be entertaining. You've got to be engaging, and you got to have people just listen to you. And yeah, the best advice I would give anybody is just press play, man. Record, just go. Put a microphone in front of yourself and turn on your phone and just press play, because it will progressively get better as you do more and more and more and more.
My advice, people always will ask me, because this is show number 775. So I'm approaching 800. Nice. Well, I do it 4 days a week. I was doing it 5 days a week for a long time, and it's live, but then I still podcast it when it's over with. But people will ask.
I don't have, I was going to say, I don't have my show from the sports network. Those aren't counted. This is just Sports with Balls. It's on 300. I've done other shows, obviously, that don't count towards that. But my main show, my baby was Sports with Balls. Yeah, that one's 300.
Yeah. Well, I started this after ESPN, because a lot of the deckheads were, you know, I had the usual suspects, and they were just like, do your own shows. I was like, okay. So, I had gotten laid off on a Monday. My last show was Wednesday, and this started the following Monday. I've been doing it ever since. But a lot of people ask, if I wanted to get into podcasting, what's your advice? And I always tell everybody the same thing. Don't. Fucking don't. Get a job. Go and get a job that pays good, that is stressful, and oh my God.
If you're looking to pay your bills,
oh my God.
Podcasting.
No,
it takes a long time.
The one thing I always tell people is if you think that you're going to start a podcast and be famous in 3 weeks or 6 weeks, don't even start. Yeah. This is a long haul thing. You have to do this for years and years. I mean, bro, you've been doing it for 4 years. I've been doing it for 4 years, and neither one of us are even close to where we want to be yet. You know what I mean? Like, we're not even close. And so, it's like, it is a grind, and that's the thing that I think most people don't realize. But it's a
lot of work.
You've had a lot of success on Facebook. I've seen it. That's where I didn't have any success, but you had a ton of success over there, right?
Yeah, so I was at one point reaching 15 to 20 million people a month. My Facebook page which is fantastic. Now, since then, it has been hacked, and I should get it back later on this month. They told me, it's been almost 90 days because this person hacked it, they have that Meta Business Suite. For those of y'all that don't know, it's like how you get paid through Facebook. So once you get X amount of followers, stuff like that. So somebody got into that Meta Business Suite, hacked it, and started posting just weird videos, people crushing glass. And thank God it was nothing terrible. And it only got about 6 videos deep, but I haven't been able to access my business page for almost 90 days. But yeah, Facebook was a huge launching off point for me, and that's where I started. I remember over COVID, it wasn't George Strait, Garth Brooks had a live concert over COVID, and it was over Facebook Live. And I said, wait a minute. I was hammered, man. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, wait a minute. you can go live on, I didn't know you could go live on Facebook and it didn't cost you anything or whatever, right? So I called my producer up at like 3 a.m. and I'm wasted. I'm like, dude, do you have cameras? Can we go live? And he's like, you really want to? I was like, yes. And this is like, I don't know, my 10th show in. So the next night I show up to the bar and he's got cameras set up and stuff. And I'm like, hey, man, what are the cameras for? He's like, you don't remember calling me? I said, no, and I wasn't even prepared for cameras, right? I just sunglasses, kind of, hung over. I'm like, oh crap. So, and sure enough, man, he just, we went live that night, and it caught on. The Facebook Live thing kind of caught on, and it goes back to what you said a minute ago about it's a grind. You have to stay vigilant. You've got to understand algorithms. You have to do your research. You got to put a lot of effort into these things. You can't just get in front of a microphone and a camera and start talking sports or life or whatever you want. This is just like any other business. It's going to take you time.
Yeah. And you deal with the ebbs and the flows and the good and the bad. And you understand that some weeks are going to be better than others. Some days are going to be better than others. Some months and years. And oh yeah, it is. It's a weird, wild beast in and of itself. You know what I mean? And you've taken yours to radio as well, right? You did some radio.
Yes, sir.
With Sports Map Radio, correct?
I did Sports Map Radio for a little over a year. In fact, they just offered me another contract. I had to turn it down.
Nice.
For those of y'all that don't do this business, and we're on BL's show, so I can sit here and say it. We just talked about it. It doesn't pay well, okay? Like, especially not from the beginning, right?
No.
It wasn't a contract that it couldn't pay my bills. Like, there's just no way. And that's just how this is how the business is set up. It wasn't this way 10, 15 years ago from what I've heard. But now it's a very, very tough business, tough world to crack. But I did get offered another contract through Sports Map Radio / ESPN 975 here locally. And I had to turn it down because I did get a new job. And I had to turn this Sports with Balls into a hobby. I'm still going to keep doing Sports with Balls. And now the football season's not on. I tone it down a little bit and go about 2 to 3 days a week instead of all 5. I don't like beating dead horses and going over the same topics over and over and over constantly. So I try to wait till there's like a few days of build up, and then I can get into stuff a little bit deeper. So and when football season cranks back up, I'll go, or right before, probably around the draft or right afterwards, somewhere in there, I'll kick it back up to 5 days a week. But I'm still going to do Sports with Balls, but got to pay. I got to go to St. Louis on Monday for my new job. I can't wait.
Nice. Can you tell us what the new gig is, or is it?
Yeah. So I am a national sales consultant now for Stellar, which is a cotton company. Cotton here in Houston that's advertises at Minute Maid Park. Great job. I'm a full-time dad, so this is 401k, full benefits, great salary. So, yeah, so I'll be doing Sports with Balls from hotel rooms from now on, probably.
Now, do you still
which is fine with me.
Do you still do it as a video show, or is it audio still, audio only?
So I'll do the same thing like you. I'll videotape. I'll do a live show about 30 to 40 minutes in the morning, and then directly after, I'll shoot it out as a podcast version.
Oh, there you go. That's cool. So you do live in the morning, and then you podcast it.
Yeah, and then I podcast it and share it through everything. I wish that I could get my Sports with Balls page back because obviously that helps out a ton when it comes to your listeners when you're reaching 15 to 20 million people. Now my personal page. Now that's not look people that are listening. Go to Sports with Balls. Please go follow it because it is going to get back up. And man, the banter on that page. It was getting. I'm getting 500-600 comments per post on there, and thousands and thousands and thousands of likes and stuff like that. And the banter it was hysterical. But it also comes with people personally messaging you the most ridiculous stuff you could. I'm sure I don't understand how people are this naive, stupid, idiotic. I guess they just want reactions, man, because they send you the weirdest messages, man. Like this guy told me the other day, he sent me a message, and he found a picture on my Facebook, and he personally put it in my inbox and was just like, is it my fault your daughter looks like a boy? And I'm like, what? And there was no reason for it. My daughter's a beautiful girl. She doesn't look anything like a boy. Like I was like, It's obviously an apparent trying to, somebody trying to jab at me, and I was like, and that's just
trolls, just trolling.
Oh
my god, dude! I'm telling you, it's like, because I also post, doing stand up. I also have to post a lot of videos for stand up. And a couple weeks ago, I did this where I just started going to some of my stand-up accounts and reading the comments on this show. And people were like, my God, you got to do this once a week. This is hilarious. Because people were like, yo, you look like a thumb. I was like, what the fuck? Like, God.
I look like a thumb.
Yeah, so some guy was like, you look like a thumb. And I was like, I can't even be mad because he's right. You know what I mean?
No, I can't be mad at you.
People are brutal, dude, but they just want to troll. And it's hilarious.
To me, they got a lot of time on their hands, man. But
it's
funny you mention that. It's funny you mention that because you do that as a stand-up routine. And I was going to implement. I've been working on this for years, and I've been trying to implement it because I know a lot of females, got a lot of female friends, and like their inboxes are hysterical. And I was going to do a 15-minute segment during my sports show and have them read their inboxes out loud, like on the show, because man, that is hysterical. So that's a good idea for a segment.
Dudes are creepy. We are the worst. I actually said that. I do that on stage where I'll be like, who's the creepiest guy on the internet? And I love that sometimes because a lot of comics will ask questions on stage, but it's stupid ass questions. They'll be like, and I can't stand it because it's just lazy comedy. Because they'll be like, and I'm guilty of it sometimes where they'll be like, where are all my couples at? Or they'll be like, who here likes coffee or whatever. But the worst one I ever heard was somebody was like, who here likes sleeping? I was like, what the fuck, bro? Everybody. What are you going to ask? Who here likes breathing? What kind of dumbass question is that? Like, who likes sleeping? Are we really? But some of the questions that you ask. So one that I asked, I was trying to remember now. Shit. I said, who is the creepiest? Who is the creepiest dude on the internet? And now I'll just ask.
It was OJ.
Well, yeah, but I asked. Like,
it was OJ.
Oh, isn't that weird? But I asked, who is the creepiest guy on the internet? And I'll ask it open-ended like that and see what people say. Yeah. And it's so funny the shit that people will say. Oh, it's it's crazy. And my answer is always no. No matter what they say, the answer is no. And it's always the foot guy. Foot guys are the creepiest fucking dudes on the internet. Hands down, bar none. And I say that because, bro, whenever like a lot of my female friends will show me, they'll be like, hey, will you send me a picture of your feet? And that's in their DMs. It's like, what are you doing, bro? That is so creepy. It's just the weirdest thing. So yeah, that's a whole segment. Is just chicks DMs.
What do you think all those people, the foot people, did when they shut down all the porn sites?
Right.
Like, so now you can't get on YouPorn, you can't get on RedTube, you can't get on any of those porn sites that everybody's always used to. Like, the foot people had issues, man. Y'all better have the same videos.
They had to they're just on like Craigslist, just uploading them there. Hell, I don't know.
Is that still a thing? Is Craigslist still going on?
I don't even know. Let me see. I got to go and see at Craigslist.com.
I remember trying to call it Craigslist.
It is a thing still. How is that even on? That's crazy. Yeah. You met somebody on Craigslist?
I remember we tried to call girls from there, like wasted in our late 20s, at like 5 or 4 in the morning, whatever. Been like, let's see if we can get a girl over here or whatever. I don't think it ever worked.
That's wild. Yeah, I don't think I
thought Craigslist was shut down because there's some weird stuff that goes on in there. So I had no idea that was still a thing.
That's crazy. They'll shut down Pornhub, but they won't shut down Craigslist. That's pretty wild. So you out of high school, you went and played basketball overseas. That's pretty dope. Then you started.
Here's one of my. There's a
other side.
That was a tournament. That's a silver medal for one of the tournaments in Europe.
No. Oh, that's dope.
Let's see. There's a few of them back here. My son lost my junior Olympics medal, which sucks. I don't know what he did with it. But
basketball, junior Olympics, or track?
Yeah, basketball.
Nice.
Yeah, I just picked this up the other day. And that's Masters a little bit.
Are you a big golf guy?
Tiger's rookie.
Okay.
I live on a golf course. I think I've played it twice. I like playing golf. I just don't have the time.
Okay.
And I'm competitive. I don't drink when I play golf. And all my buddies, they want to go to these tournaments and want me invited, want me to go play, but they get hammered, man. And
Pisses you off, huh?
I'm not a. Yeah. I want to have fun too, but I want to win. So
Yeah.
I don't want to get hammered. So they all by hole 9, man. They're 10 Jello shots deep and sitting with the cart girls, and
And you're like, guys, we're down 3 strokes. They're like, oh
yeah,
my God.
come on, man.
Jeff, just
We can do
relax
this
and have a
after.
beer. You're like, we're down 3. Everybody's lock it up. They're like, oh God, bro, we're not bringing you next
That's
year.
exactly right. Exactly. That's why I don't get invited anymore.
Are you the
That's
high,
no fun, man.
You're the high-strung, sober friend.
Yeah, we're a buzz killer. We don't have fun with Jeff, man.
Yeah.
Don't invite him, bro.
And then you're like, well, how come you guys never invite me anymore? Cause you freak out, dude.
That's almost exactly right.
That's pretty okay. That's funny. Oh wait, hold on. Joe Pro in the chat said an ad on Craigslist for a spot on Backpages that sells a password to OnlyFans. Wait, what? People are creepy and I don't trust. That's crazy, Joe Pro. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
There was a girl over here one night, and I tried to get her an OnlyFans page. I was going to be her OnlyFans manager, man. I thought that was
Is that a
great
thing?
idea. Yeah, it is a thing. There's people that run these girls' pages, and they get paid a ton of money, man. That's like the easiest way I've
OnlyFans
ever.
manager?
Yeah, they run these girls' pages and stuff like that. Like the girls it's crazy how a female body can make that much money. Like
Wait a
just,
minute.
Just
Wait
with a camera.
Jeff,
Just-
now wait a
wow.
damn minute. An OnlyFans manager, that's just an e-pimp, bro. That's
exactly what it is.
You're just an e-pimp.
I was gonna do it. Man, I got logged on. I created her an account and everything, man. I was
you
ready
really?
to go. I did, swear to God. I was gonna manage her account. She was gonna have a webcam at her house, whatever. I was gonna get it done. I mean, shoot, I had plenty of I do the show, right? So I'm good with the internet. I was like, I can figure this out. This is no problem, right?
Did she chicken out, or did she like, no, I can do this on my own?
She did. Well, I don't know. Maybe she did that because we haven't spoken in a while. But maybe.
Oh.
This was a while ago.
She found another pimp.
But,
Better check.
I've never actually been on OnlyFans. I've never checked that site out. I was trying to sign her up and everything, but I've never actually. I don't have an account. Like I've
You
never
need to go
checked
look
it
her
out.
up and see if she's got one. She may have done it without you. What's her name? I'll go look.
No names on air.
Oh, damn it.
I'll tell you.
Text it to me. I'll look her up.
Yeah,
I ain't scared.
exactly.
What does Cisco say? Gators bitches better be using Jimmy's. I don't even know what that means. That's probably a reference I don't get, Cisco. Damn it. What is this?
Jimmy's, Trojans, condoms.
I mean, I know Jimmy's, but I don't know what Gators bitches is. What is Gators? What are you talking about, Cisco?
Is that like lot lizards? You know what a lot lizard is?
Yeah, I know what a lot lizard is. They make some
Is Gators
pop
like-
culture references sometimes, and I don't
Yeah,
get them.
yeah.
I'm old compared to some of these cats,
These
bro.
gators. You
Yeah.
mean somebody in Florida?
Oh, it's from the other guys. I don't know. I think I've seen that. I don't know.
Oh, is that Will Ferrell? Will Ferrell movie?
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't remember. Bro, I can't even remember what I talked about
Wahlberg.
yesterday. I don't even remember what I talked about in the first hour of this damn show. I'm supposed to remember a line from that movie? Shit. Yeah, you brought it up earlier. Let's talk a little bit about OJ. What's your favorite OJ memory? Just kidding.
What, the chase? Well, listen, and it's obviously the chase because I'm watching the 94 finals, the Rockets Knicks, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, Akeem's having a hell of a series, and I was at game 3, I'm sorry, game 2 or 3, I forget. But I was like, I'm stoked. The Rockets are going to beat the Knicks. We're finally going to win a championship. Right in the middle of it, they cut out of the NBA Finals to go watch OJ down a freeway. I think that's everybody's memory of OJ.
Yeah, that's
Like, unless you're like old school, and you just remember him playing football. But I even think that trumps that.
Oh yeah, I was jokingly, I was doing a podcast this morning and I brought that up and I was like, mine was when he hurdled that bench and hurt in that Hertz commercial. That was a fantastic moment in his career. It's wild to me. Is it bad though that I was kind of like, Yes. That he died. I feel like fuck that dude. I know I probably shouldn't say that, but I don't give a shit. It couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Of all the people in the world that it could have happened to, oh well.
I posted something in February on Sports with Balls. I posted that he had been diagnosed with prostate cancer, and then there wasn't a whole lot of news. Yeah, they took a good one. I finally got it right, cancer.
Yeah.
So I was I hadn't heard any news, zero, and maybe he had been in hiding, and any news that did come out about him was very negative until this morning when I found out that he had passed away, and I don't think there was any person. I did see one NFL running back that tweeted something like it was his uncle. I want to say it was Todd Gurley that posted "Gonna miss you," the rest in peace, whatever. But I think the rest of the world was like, finally, like vindication, whatever.
Yeah. Later. Oh yeah, Joe Pro said, "Holy shit, it was butthole cancer." Yeah, I didn't even know that. And I gotta say, I gotta commend you, dude. You said you posted it on February, dude. You get some of the best content. I gotta know. I'm like, every time I see something, like, I'm always like, shit, where's he getting this from? Like, you're,
yeah.
I'm always like, God damn.
Well, it's part of that. You gotta stay, you've got to follow the right people. Like, I have my notifications on for certain people and certain sites and people that I absolutely, because the one thing I didn't want to do when I started Sports with Balls is put out false information. I can't stand that.
Right.
Fake tweets and this, that, and this. So I always try to stay on point and get everything as authenticated as I can before I post it. But yeah, I mean, in this business, as you know, being the first or being the most unique or finding great stories is paramount. So yeah, I tried to do that and still try to do it and put out good stuff, because you're not the first person who's like, damn, dude, where do you get all this stuff from?
It's crazy. I'm always like, well, shit. Would you say that was a big part of helping you grow on Facebook, was the content side of it?
Yeah, because when I first started, people, obviously, we talked about this earlier, the haters, they were like, oh, he's lying, he's full of shit, like whatever. And then all of a sudden the story's real and they're like, oh, well, all right. So then, of course, people started following the page and the show a little bit more. But when you're doing video, it was great to have Lauren on, right? Like when you've got a very smoking hot blonde that knows her sports, and when you're scrolling through, people are going to go right past us. But if you see Lauren on there, you're like, whoa, I'm going to stop. Yeah. I'm going to stop for a minute, So she obviously helped growing the show from a visual aspect on when you're doing these kind of shows, like live, when you're on TV, on camera, what they call color, I guess, when you're doing color. Then she's great to have on. But as far as like just social media and posting stuff, that was a huge part, is finding good stories. And that's what I was looking for. Good stuff, like good content, not just your random whatever. Like I wanted good content.
How do you mix it up? Like when you do your shows now, do you have a specific plan? Like, all right, I'm going to go, do you have like a rundown that you do, or you have a certain way you structure your shows for your audience, or how do you plan a show? Cause this show is a sports / entertainment show, but I'm very organic. I have a rundown and things I want to talk about, but I also kind of just let the chat dictate a lot of times where we go. Cause we have the live chat, and if we go off on a tangent, we kind of go off as a show sometimes. How do you structure it?
Yeah. And that's awesome. And that's exactly what I guess the best, I wanted something similar to like what Dan Patrick was doing a while back. He's since calmed down a little bit, but almost like, like this is, I don't have a structure. I have cause I do a sports flash for a couple of radio stations in the morning. And that kind of gives me a little bit of what's going on. Like obviously I watch sports, so I know exactly, I'm in tune with everything that's going on, but I do just kind of let the show go. Like wherever it leads and wherever the conversation goes. And now I do like a 30-minute show where I just get it. And if people are posting on social media or asking questions while they're watching, then I try to answer those as much as possible. But unless I have a guest on, the show just kind of goes where it goes. And it's sports orientated, but no, like if it goes off on a tangent, we can start talking about your prom when you were 18 years old. I don't care. Like, I mean, as long as it's entertaining, we can always get back to sports. That's there's 5 days of this. So I do the same thing. I just sort of let the show go where it goes.
That's dope, dude. Are you? Do you have plans for the show like going forward, or is there expansion plans? I mean, I know you got the day gig now, so you're going to be doing it a little bit less. But is there a path long term you're looking at taking Sports with Balls?
I would hope. I hope one day that pays my bills, right? Like, it would be fantastic if it would catch on eventually. I'm going to keep this going as long as I possibly can. But of course, now it's got to turn into a little bit of a hobby, which maybe it should have been in the first place. I just loved it too much.
You're just stubborn enough to say, I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Even though it wasn't necessarily profitable for the longest time. And I got to thank my sponsors a ton, man. They're incredible. They've helped out. There's a couple of them that have been with me for a long time.
Name them, plug them. Go ahead.
Christian's Tailgate here in Houston. They're fantastic. Diamond Auto Spa, Joe Applewhite Realty, and I guess the new one would be Garrison Bailey and Bailey Home Construction. So those guys are fantastic, man. And whenever you have friends whenever you're in a city and you have friends that can help you out like that, it helps you out a ton when you're first starting out and doing stuff like this. So I thank them a lot. But I hope the show does go somewhere eventually because I love doing it.
Yeah.
Would I rather sit around and talk about sports and to pay all my bills? Hell yeah, that'd be fantastic. But 4 years of stubbornness, I finally had to go get a normal job.
Now, so you've gone. So the last 4 years, you haven't had a day gig until now.
Nope.
That's
I've done
great,
this,
dude.
Yeah, and I raised my son by myself since he was 18 months old. He's 9.5 now, so a full-time dad as well. He just walked in the door a minute ago and just looked at me, and he just pointed outside. I'm like, yeah, go, see you later.
Wow.
He goes out, runs around the neighborhood. But, yeah, I've been doing this and this alone for 4 years now.
Wow, dude, that's great. Well, I mean, you said, paying bills, but you've managed. I mean, you're not homeless. You got a roof over your head. You've done well enough, man. And most people don't even get to that point where they're able to at least, you might not be living high on the hog, but a lot of people can't even get their shows to that. So that's something to certainly be proud of.
No, listen, I am definitely 100% proud of what I've accomplished, and my kids saw me do this, and I'm proud of that. They saw me struggle. They saw a couple of Christmases. There wasn't a whole lot under the tree. They saw me go through a lot, but also build up something. It was awesome when they saw me on television. It was great when they'd go to the studio at Sports Map Radio and listen to me, and they were proud of me. So there's definitely positives that have come out of it. It's just going any further right now without putting it as a hobby is ludicrous for me. I've got to start doing something that's going to be a little bit more lucrative than just doing this. But hopefully it does catch on one day. I'm still going to do it. It's still going to be fun, and hopefully it does. I really hope.
Have you always been in sales? Like when you weren't doing Sports with Balls, were you always in sales, or is this something new?
Generally, I had a couple of bars. I was a promoter for a long time, so we had a couple of nightclub spots that I did for a long time. But yeah, that's generally been the consensus is like, Jeff, you're great at sales. You're great at sales. So I guess I'm going to stick with it. This is an incredible opportunity, and I can't thank the guys enough that gave me this job opportunity. And hopefully I'll stick it, and hopefully Sports with Balls will stick on. And now I think it'll take a little bit of pressure off of me as far as Sports with Balls is concerned, and I can do it a little bit more loosely, because it is a lot of people don't understand these jobs, and it's a grind, like you said earlier. It is a grind, man, and you are constantly thinking of ways to improve it, how to get better, how to make more money, and it takes its toll on you for sure.
Well, and I think the good thing is you'll have more money to spend on the show, to market the show.
Yes, 100%.
And that can make a big difference too. Yeah. Give me your thoughts on the Astros, man. What's the problem with the Astros? How do they fix it?
So will Espada be fired before the All-Star break?
You really think that's going to be the? I disagree, man.
I don't know. Right now, They are worse than the Oakland A's as we sit here and talk right now.
Yes.
That's unbelievable.
Yes.
That is earth-shattering if you're an Astros fan and even a baseball fan. You cannot believe that the team that has been the best in baseball for 7 years now is now worse than the Oakland A's. Now, we're only, what are we in? We are 13 games in?
Yeah.
14 games in.
Yep.
14 games in. We're negative 19 on the run differential. We've lost 3 games in a row. 2-5 away, 2-5 at home. Joe Espada has not pushed the right buttons. I know that. And he's just getting warmed up to the team. I understand all the injuries. But you can't get 10 games down. All right, we're 4 right now. But you let this season keep slipping, eventually you're going to have to throw it away because the Rangers are good. The Angels seem to be pretty good. The Mariners, I don't know if they're going to come out of their funk, but, if you go up to the AL East, the Yankees, the Orioles, the Red Sox, the Rays, those are all good teams. Like the Astros are not going to make it if they let this go too much further.
Hush at total_Dallas.
Okay. That was.
Oh, yeah.
Joe, bro. That's sorry.
Somebody told me to sit down and hush.
Not you. No.
I was like, nice. I love it.
No. There's some shit talking going on in the chat. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, it just Espada. We have all 5 starting pitchers are injured basically, so you can't really do much. Like what? But the thing is, how long are these pitchers injured? How long are we going to keep this going? Because we're 4 games back of first place right now in the West, and these teams are going to be good. If we get 10 games down, that's going to be a tough road to climb.
Yeah, no doubt.
Our offense is fine. Our offense seems to be okay.
Yeah, it's weird because I was saying earlier, it seems like when they win or lose, it's spectacular, right? You're seeing them lose 11-2 or 10-3 or winning 10-0 or. Yeah, and there are some other games mixed in there, but yeah, it just seems like it's this weird. They don't know who they are yet. I'm not worried about the lineup. People want to be blaming Abreu. Look, he's this year's moldy. This lineup can fade a dude whose OPS is 227. It's whatever. But I'm with you. I think it's the rotation. And dude, I had a slide that I made for the show. When you look at just the rotation. That's a right World Series rotation just in Verlander, McCullers, Fromber, Luis Garcia, and Urquidy. I mean, you can roll that out right now in a playoff series and go, I like our chances. So,
that's what I was saying. All 5 starting pitchers that are hurt, and right now, if you to put a finger on what's wrong, it is the pitching. And we have 5 starting pitchers out. So you can't judge them on exactly because like I said, their offense actually is doing pretty well. Altuve's hitting good.
Very nice.
Sorry. Keep going.
Altuve's doing good. Look, Jordan's coming around. Bregman will eventually figure it out. Tucker's all right. I mean, the offense is playing pretty decent. You can't overcome that pitching. Hunter Brown lasted 1 inning today. They gave up 9 runs in the first inning.
Yeah,
that's not the offense's fault.
No, after a rookie comes up yesterday and goes 3 innings, and then another rookie goes a third of an inning. So yeah, it's just been bad, and they will figure it out and they will get better. So I
don't want him to get too far back. That's the issue. But look,
it's a good point. You get down 10, and that's a tough road to hoe.
Big road. Yeah, that is a big way to get. But look, Verlander may come back. So pretty soon I know he didn't pitch that well in his rehab start, but I don't think that you count those rehab starts. Like he's not trying to strike people out. He's just trying to get his pitches down. So we'll see. Verlander comes back. Hopefully Fromber will come back soon. It's not a big issue. So if you get Verlander and Fromber back in there, maybe we'll start putting some games together.
Absolutely. Hey, by the way, Ghosty, thank you for the follow. What's up, Sensei Borog? Good to see you. Jeff, dude, this was awesome.
Yes,
Jeff has a new follower. Donna, thank you for following Jeff. Jeff, I posted all the socials from TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter in the chat. I believe folks will be giving you some follows. I'm going to do that one more time on both YouTube and here on Twitch. You guys give him a follow. Jeff, appreciate you popping in, man. This was dope. Thanks for hanging out with me for an hour, man. Much appreciated.
Yeah, anytime, Barry. Love the show. I love the concept, man. Anytime you want me on, let me know, man. I'll be there.
Will do. And anything you want to plug for your bounce out? Anything you want to share with the people?
No, man. If you're in Houston, go to Chris's Tailgate for any of the sports games, whatever. Like I said, they sponsor Sports with Balls, and they're an incredible outfit, man. So hit them up whenever you.
When you still do the show, are you going to be doing it there, or are you going to be doing it from the house?
So I do it from the house, and I also do live shows at Chris's Tailgate. But if you follow Sports with Balls on any of your social media outlets, it'll be all up there. Show 300 coming up soon.
Check it out. That's Jeff Michael, Sports with Balls. Jeff, I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much.
You got it, Barry.
All right, and that is another edition of Barry on Deck, number 775 in the books.